There is a version of spiritual seeking that is secretly just another form of self-improvement. Accumulate enough insight, meditate enough hours, read the right teachers, have the right experiences, reach the right state, and eventually, after sufficient effort, sufficient discipline, sufficient transformation, you will arrive. You will become awakened. You will finally be the version of yourself that is worthy of peace. This is the framework most people bring to spiritual life. And it is the framework that guarantees they never find what they're looking for. Because it is built on a premise that sounds reasonable but is fundamentally wrong. The premise is this: that what you are seeking is somewhere ahead of you, that it needs to be built, earned, or achieved, that the distance between you and it is real, and that the work is to close that distance through sufficient personal development. But what if there is no distance? What if awakening is not the acquisition of something new, but the recognition of something that has been here the entire time, unchanged, untouched, completely unaffected by everything you've been through? What if the seeking itself is the only thing standing between you and what you are seeking? Part 1: The Self-Improvement Trap. The self-improvement model of spiritual development is seductive because it fits the structure of every other goal you've ever pursued. Work hard enough, get the result. Practice long enough, develop the skill. Fix enough of what's broken. Become the person you want to be. The entire architecture of modern achievement is built on this logic. And it works in domains where the goal is genuinely external and the gap between current state and desired state is real. But awakening is not an external goal, and the gap is not real. When the self-improvement model gets applied to spiritual life, it produces a particular kind of seeker, one who is perpetually almost there, who has had profound experiences but cannot hold them, who understands the concepts deeply but cannot live from them consistently, who oscillates between feeling close and feeling hopelessly far, between glimpses of clarity and returns to confusion. The progress feels real. The insights accumulate. The vocabulary becomes more sophisticated. But something fundamental never shifts. And the seeker cannot understand why, because they are working so hard, reading so much, trying so sincerely. The problem is not the effort. The problem is the direction. Every effort to become awakened is an effort made by the part of you that is not awake, using the tools of the conditioned mind to try to transcend the conditioned mind. It is the eye trying to see itself, the hand trying to grip itself. The very structure of the seeking reinforces the assumption that what you are seeking is not already present. And that assumption is the only actual obstacle. Part 2: What has never changed? Here is the question that cuts through everything. In the midst of all the seeking, all the practice, all the transformation, all the experiences both profound and ordinary, what has remained constant? Not your body. It has changed continuously since birth. Not your personality. It has shifted with circumstance, relationship, and age. Not your beliefs. They have been revised repeatedly. Not your emotions, your preferences, your sense of who you are in the world. All of that has changed. Some of it dramatically. But there is something that has not changed. Something so obvious, so constant, so utterly present in every moment of your life that it has been functionally invisible. The way the eye cannot see itself precisely because it is the instrument of all seeing, the awareness itself. The simple, bare fact of being conscious, of there being an experience at all, has been present in every moment of your life without interruption, through childhood and adulthood, through joy and devastation, through clarity and confusion, through every identity you've inhabited and every one you've shed. Awareness has never been absent. It has never been damaged. It has never developed, improved, or deteriorated. It has never been closer to awakening in your best moments or further from it in your worst. It has simply been, quietly, completely, unchangingly, here. This is what the great contemplative traditions are pointing at when they speak of the eternal self, the Buddha nature, the ground of being. Not a poetic metaphor, not a consoling idea, a direct description of what is actually the case. That beneath every layer of personality, conditioning, story, and suffering, there is a presence that was never born into those things and cannot be touched by them. You are not trying to become that. You already are that. You have always been that. The only question is whether it is recognized. At Part 3, Why You Forgot. If awareness is always present, always unchanged, always already what you are, why does it take any effort to recognize it? Because the mind is extraordinarily loud. From the moment of birth, the process of becoming a self begins. Language arrives, and with it the division of experience into me and not me. Identity forms, shaped by feedback, by reward and punishment, by the need to belong and the fear of rejection. Beliefs accumulate, narratives solidify. The story of who you are becomes so dense, so detailed, so continuously reinforced that it begins to feel like the totality of what you are. And the simple, silent awareness underneath all of that, the presence that was there before the story began, gets buried, not destroyed, not lost. Buried. Under the noise of thought, the weight of identity, the constant activity of a mind that has been trained to always be doing something. This is not a failure. This is the human condition. The forgetting is structural, built into the process of becoming a person in a social world that rewards identity and achievement and has no framework whatsoever for what you are prior to both. But buried is not gone. The signal is still transmitting. It has never stopped. And every moment of genuine stillness, genuine presence, genuine looking beneath the noise is a moment of the forgetting thinning, not progress towards something new, recognition of something ancient. Part 4. What recognition actually looks like. Recognition is not a dramatic event. This is the final and most important correction. The mind, trained on narrative and achievement, expects awakening to arrive as a rupture, a lightning strike, a vision, an experience so overwhelming it restructures everything instantly and permanently. And such experiences do occur. But they are not the point, and mistaking them for the point is what keeps people chasing states rather than recognizing what is present in every state. Recognition is quieter than that. It is the sudden noticing, in the middle of an ordinary moment, that there is a presence here that is not troubled by what is happening, that the awareness holding the anxiety is not itself anxious, that the consciousness in which the sadness appears is not itself sad, that there is something here that is simply witnessing, steady, open, unchanged, regardless of what moves through it. It doesn't require a special state. It doesn't require the absence of thought or emotion. It is available in the middle of difficulty, in the middle of noise, in the middle of the most ordinary moment of the most ordinary day, because it is not a state among other states. It is the space in which all states appear, And once recognized, even briefly, even partially, something shifts in orientation, not in circumstances, not in personality, but in the relationship between you and everything arising in experience. A subtle but irreversible loosening of the identification with the story, a growing ease with what is, because the ground beneath what is has been touched. This is what practice is actually for, not to produce awakening, but to thin the forgetting, until recognition becomes more frequent, more stable, more available as the default rather than the exception. You are not on a journey towards something you lack. You are on a journey of recognition, moving not toward a destination, but toward a clarity about what has always been present at the starting point. Every piece of genuine wisdom you've encountered, every moment of real stillness, every glimpse of something vast and quiet beneath the noise. None of that was you getting closer to awakening. It was awakening recognizing itself through you, briefly, before the habit of forgetting reasserted itself. The work is not to build something new. The work is to stop insisting so forcefully on the story that obscures what is already here. You don't need more insight. You don't need a better practice. You don't need the next teacher or the next experience or the next version of yourself. You need to look clearly, honestly, without agenda, at what is here right now, before the seeking begins. What is aware of these words? That has never changed, and it never needed to. If this landed somewhere real, share it with someone who is exhausted from trying to become something they already are. Sometimes the most important thing someone can hear is that the search can stop. See you in the next one.